Hey dudes, Silhouette Soldiers here, and today I've got another top 5 video for your viewing pleasure. Since Blackwing Lair has been out for over a month, and many guilds have handily slain Nefarian and his minions, I thought it might be a good time to look back on the foes we've faced thus far in Classic. As always, keep in mind that these are just my opinions, based purely off my enjoyment of these encounters, as well as other certain aspects of the bosses. As such, I'd love to know which of the currently available bosses are your favorite, and why. So please, feel free to leave a comment down below sharing yours. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's get right into my top 5 raid bosses currently in WoW Classic. Number 5. Baron Geddon. Starting off our list is the 5th boss of Molten Core, the fire elemental known as Baron Geddon. Famous for wiping many a raid group back in the day with his ability Living Bomb, Baron Geddon is one of the fights I always look forward to when raiding Molten Core. Compared with the first 4 bosses in this raid, the Baron has quite a few mechanics to be mindful of. Ignite Mana, the pulsing fire AoE, and of course, Living Bomb to name a few. All of these pose a decent threat to an underprepared raid team, and I'm sure that we've all seen that one raid member who starts running the wrong way with a skull over his head. Sure, he doesn't drop the best loot, other than one of the bindings needed for Thunder Fury, but the fight is engaging and entertaining, a reward in and of itself in my opinion. And that's why I put the Baron here at number 5. Number 4. Ragnaros. Awakened too soon to fight our ready and waiting raid teams, Ragnaros the Fire Lord is an absolutely fantastic finish to the first raid of Classic. First off, there's a ton of lore surrounding this guy. Enslaving dwarves, burning a giant chunk of the Eastern Kingdoms, and nom-nomming on Thunderan being some of my personal favorite tidbits. As a boss fight, however, he still packs quite a punch. As anyone who has vanquished the Fire Lord will already know, the initial setup and preparation is what this encounter is all about. And though there are already a few other encounters in Molten Core where positioning is important, the Ragnaros fight takes this to an entirely new level. Spread out, hug a buddy, and be ready to get ping-ponged around by fire blasts which may or may not kill you, depending on if you used a fire potion or not. The unprepared will fall, but those who plan well ahead just might be rewarded with their Tier 2 pants. So yeah, he's got a pretty awesome fight, so long as you beat him before the Submerge, that is. And that's why I ranked him here at number 4. Number 3. Broodlord Lash Lair. Alright, so Raggy is pretty awesome, and I'm sure that most people expected to see him on this list. But I doubt many expected to see this particular boss. Immediately following the infamous Suppression Room, the 3rd boss of Blackwing Lair stands waiting. Broodlord Lash Lair is an absolute beast of a boss for those who aren't ready, my raid team included. His aggro range is deceptively massive, which means many accidental pulls are made by raiders who have just barely finished the gauntlet. Yeah, I've got some fun memories of our Suppression Room progression, but my favorite aspect of this fight isn't just the many face pulls, it's the Mortal Strike ability. All too often as a priest healer, I simply need to spam heal and flash heal depending on the urgency. With Broodlord's Mortal Strike and the heavy tank damage, however, I also get to make good use of Power Word Shield for a change. The constant tank swapping and lack of reliable timers, I can say I always really enjoy this fight, when we get to it, that is. So yeah, this epic climax to the Suppression Room is definitely my number 3. Number 2. Onyxia. Whelps, left side, even side, many whelps. Now handle it. Without a doubt, Onyxia is one of the greatest and most iconic fights in all of WoW Classic. With an absolutely epic backstory, for Alliance anyway, 3 unique phases, and fantastic loot, the broodmother of the Black Dragonflight is an all-around amazing experience. As a healing priest, there's not too much to do for the first phase, but that swiftly changes once Onyxia takes off. Wanding to help the DPS, healing up fireball damage, and of course, watching out for deep breaths that kill half the raid are all things that keep me engaged during this fight. Of course, the most intense part of the fight is the transition from air to ground, when she needs to be picked back up and brought back into position. No matter how many times guilds do this, it always seems that a certain rogue or warrior starts opening up just a bit too soon, only to get half of the raid breathed on. But once she falls, the feeling is incredible. Watching every remaining survivor scramble to the dragon's corpse to see if their Tier 2 helm dropped is one of the staples of my raiding experience in Classic thus far. And though the fight is really very easy now with BWL out, I still enjoy doing it every week. For this reason, as well as the amazing Alliance attunement quest chain that leads to this phenomenal fight, I have to rank it as my number 2. There's one boss that I believe trumps the Ani encounter though. But before that, here are just a few honorable and dishonorable mentions. Number 1. Nefarian. And at number 1, I've put the Lord of Blackrock himself, the son of Deathwing, brother of Onyxia, the Black Drake, Nefarian. As a character in the lore, this guy is legit. Experimenting on dragons, enslaving orcs, and generally just being a badass are all great reasons to love or hate him. And as a boss, he's no joke either. Nefarian is the final boss of Blackwing Lair, currently the most difficult raid available in Classic. With so many tough encounters in BWL, getting to him is hard enough. But his fight is yet another challenge. Initially, you need to kill a bunch of his lackeys, simple draconoids that come in a rainbow of colors. When he reveals his dragon form, however, you're in for the fight of your life. Nefarian has a Shadow Flame ability, which requires all raiders to have their Onyxia scale cloaks equipped to avoid, which is an interesting quirk of this boss. You have to kill his sister first, in order to be able to take him down yourselves. In addition to this, he's got class call abilities, a different one for every class in Classic, that he periodically casts throughout the fight. Mages turn into giraffes, priests damage their healing targets, and many, many others. This means that every week the fight will be slightly different. But my favorite part about this fight isn't the call's mechanics per se, but the actual calls themselves. He taunts you when he uses them. But of course, the best part of any boss fight isn't the fight itself. It's the loot. And Nefarian has got some of the most amazing items in the game. Ashkandi, Neltharian's Tear, and of course, those Tier 2 chess pieces. No matter what class you play, you definitely want to beat this bad boy. As you all probably know, I never actually raided back in vanilla. And though I did face off against Nefarian back in early 2014 on a private server, I've always wanted to officially defeat him. Now that Classic's out, and my raid team is slowly progressing through BWL, I know that I now again have my chance. This time for sure, I'll defeat this big baddie, and achieve the final of my Classic goals. So, there you have it. my top 5 raid bosses currently in Classic. While I listed quite a few here, I will say that I think that all of the raid bosses in Classic have their own special place in my heart. Even the dishonorable mentions that I threw in here. That being said, these 5 are definitely my favorites, whether it be for lore reasons, mechanics specifically tailored to me playing a priest, or even just the aesthetics of the fight. If you thought that I should have included a different boss, or have your own top 5 bosses list, let me know by leaving a comment down below. I'd love to hear your reasons for what you choose. But anyway, that's it for today. If you liked this video, or found it interesting, why not give it a like, and subscribe to my channel here. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter for updates when I create additional content, and check out my blogs over on Blogspot, where I put all of these in written form before I make videos of them here. In any case, thanks for watching, have an awesome day, good luck beating these bosses, and as always, take it easy guys.